Welcome to David Gray's Arena. Massive game of WAFLW football. Round 7, Peel Thunder taking on Claremont. It's a spectacular day down here in Mandurah and everything on the line for these two teams. Dave Lindsay with you in commentary. The Tigers and the Thunder both need a win here this afternoon to guarantee themselves a spot in the finals next week. A loss will probably end the season of either team. There's still a massive game tomorrow between Swans and East Fremantle that will also have a huge bearing on the makeup of the Final Four as well. Subiaco sitting pretty on top of the table and South Fremantle at the foot of the table, but the four teams in between are fighting for just 3 spots in the finals that begin next week. Joining me in commentary this afternoon, as always, Clint Degebrot from the WA Footy Commission, the main man in the female talent pathway. Welcome, Deggers.
Thus far. G'day, how you going?
Going well, going well. You've actually come up to this game instead of coming down.
I have. I've come up from Gracetown, where we had similar issues with Foxtel last night, but front row screen's far more efficient in getting this live stream out. Well done to Matt and the team.
Yeah,
it was
done an amazing
remarkable
job
to see what they just did to get this going.
Got us online right on the knocker. The ball just about to be bounced as well. And joining us for the first time, Ash Renshaw. Great to have you with us, Ash.
Thanks for having me. It's a beautiful day down here in Peel.
Not a bad spot to be this afternoon, is it? So early start. The girls are ready to go. All decked out in their Indigenous jumpers as well, which look fantastic. We'll hear plenty from Ash throughout this afternoon. And this match is just the biggest game we've had in WAFLW this year, because we've got two sides sitting 3rd and 5th on the table. Claremont with 3 victories, Peel the same. Both teams with a few key players out as well as we get ourselves underway in this big contest between the Tigers and the Thunder. No clear winner at the opening bounce, and we'll start it again. Round 4, these two teams met already, and Peel were too good on that occasion by 8 points over Claremont. If they repeat that today, they'll move themselves back into the top 4, and they'll play finals for the first time in their club's history. They'll go forward first as well. The kick going forward by Bill Sitch towards half forward, but here is probably the key player today for Claremont, Pugh, who was outstanding a couple of weeks ago on our live stream game against East Fremantle. Quite brilliant on that occasion. Smith now for Claremont. She's tackled, loses the football. Opportunity for Jess Lowe, who dives in on top of it, opposed to a couple of Thunder opponents. They'll fight on, but I don't think that ball's going to come out so easily, and we'll see a ball up as we come to the end of the first minute of play here in Mandurah. No scorers yet.
First centre bounce or throw up around the field, squinted towards the middle of the ground here, controlled by Goranova. A little handoff to the running Claremont player, looking long and deep. Peel first on the scene. They spills through her hands, through to the outside. Looks to be in the hands of Winetti. Chip shot in, will land in the hands of Dowson. Dowson plays on, steps through Amanda Robertson through the front of the box. Just looks to go out towards the boundary side, off hands. Seems like White may get a touch on that. It's rolled out of bounds for a boundary throw in.
Yeah, that was a good mark there by Dowson. She really read it well, and Winetti just a bit unlucky, just needed a bit more on it to go over the top.
Have you got a tip today, Ash? What do you reckon? Which way are you leaning?
I don't know.
You can take your Subi hat off. I don't think it affects him too much.
No. I wouldn't mind seeing Peel win. So, yeah, that's my tip.
Impressed with Simmons in the ruck this season. She got the tap down. There's plenty of pressure from Peel. Ball's on the wing now and in the hands of a runner. Back feet is nice. Steps inside, looking to connect forward, having a little bit of an issue with the handle at the moment, all players, a bit of pressure around the ball. Bouncing around on the far side of the ground. Seen a lot of football on the far side. If Elle Smith finds it with the hands, she gets the ball going forward straight away. Franklin comes and crashes the pack. She tracks the ball well, finds some space behind the group, and now the ball's going in through Bennett. Peel ball positioned again at Anderson. Enough to get rid of her play and won the footy. Bent over and picked it up, tackled front on from Amanda Robertson, and we'll have a ball up forward 50 at Claremont's end.
And that we'll discuss this throughout the afternoon quite a bit, but the table as it stands at the moment has Subiaco on top on 20, Swans second on 16. They play East Fremantle tomorrow, and then it's Claremont, East Fremantle and Peel all on 12. Claremont with a far better percentage. Fortunate for them that they had the opportunity to play South Fremantle twice this season. The only other team that will get that chance is Subiaco when they play them tomorrow. Nice work from Briggs to sidestep an opponent. Unfortunately, her kick has been read best by Pugh, and it's going to be turned over again. So the Tigers will look to rebound, coming off the half-back line. Out towards the wing. Nice mark taken, and they're away with a bit of dash. Going over again. Straight down the middle to White. Great delivery. And Brooke White's taken a fine mark about 40 metres out. She's a long kick of the footy, Ash, but I'm not sure whether she's got the distance in her legs today. Yeah.
I'm going to say she doesn't have it in her legs. Not for this one. I think she's a bit too far out.
It's a safe bet the commentators curse to go no.
I was hoping she'd back her in because we've had some
harder.
fantastic curses applied by some of our experts this year.
The reverse mock.
This will probably go straight through post high. She's made a good contact on the footy. It's going to go right to the goal line, fading away and touched on the line by Franklin. It was going through behind anyway, but I think Cara Antonio has been our best mock of the season so far. Multiple mocks. Hayley Miller wasn't too bad at it either. But it's first score to the Tigers, 4 minutes in.
They're to commit to a comment. That's the reason why they get caught out. Lovely kick, but low, well placed. She gets the ball off hands, drives the line, ball smothered by the Peel defenders. This looks Bella Mann on debut. Gets a kick down the line, looking to connect with Crystal Carter. Crystal Carter's happy to see this one held up, I think, with Laura Pugh around the place. Umpire's going to have to do some work, I think. Encouraged the players to get it out a couple of times, Ash. Just couldn't quite get it done.
Yeah, I did hear that. She bet it on Hayley Miller kicking the goal, didn't she?
Cost her a house.
Simmons and Punton earned her a couple of roommates, though. Really well done by Ella Smith, who's confronted by 4 Peel players, and she got to do exactly what she wanted to do. Ella Smith nominated for the Combine, which is terrific for her. 20-year-old, captain of Claremont. I don't think we can call that one handball over the line, can we? It has been. That was last possession over the line, and Bella Mann gets her second possession on debut. It's great to see Steve Markin continuing to bring the young players on. Bella Mann, famous for her long kick, and Orlep, famous for her intercept mark. So both get to showcase their talents today. 45 kicks are good on aggressive. Whale really backed herself to come in and have an impact, did it well. Back to Anderson, Southwest teammates. Anderson loses it in the tackle, unfortunately, to Zadnik, and Zadnik will have the free kick on the wing. Kick's not quite good enough. It's going to work really well for Smith. Now Smith can actually open this up for Goranova, or is it White herself? It's White again, and she's a lot closer this time, and much more her style.
Yes, it is. But that was well played there by Claremont. They got the free kick, and they were on their bike heading towards goal, whereas Peel just a little bit slow there.
But Brooke White can open the account for the Tigers with a goal and for the game. Just doesn't get the ball dropped quite right. Attempt to correct it by foot, and as a result, gets shallow.
So Brooke White looking dangerous in the early stages. Amy Franklin up forward as well, who's kicked 8 goals this year. Equal second on the goal kicking table. She's looked a busy contributor already in this game for Claremont up forward as well. Peel on the way out, kick going wide, Goranova slapping it away from Rowley. That'll be an interesting battle on the wing, a couple of youngsters. That's out of play for a boundary throw-in.
See here Sarah Garstone wearing Kira Phillips like a glove, not letting her out of her sight.
And the key match-up, that one. As Simmons works her way to the front of the ruck contest. Knocks it Claremont's way. Bit of work done off the footy, and yes, Whale was held without it. It should be a free kick. Advantage paid. Peel taking advantage but turning it over. And on the way back in, the Tigers will look to reload. Tessa DeManis shares it out wide. And Garstone pushing forward from defence. Taking the mark. Sets it up to the top of the goal square. Any flyers from the Tigers? No, they all weighted down. White knocks it away from Dowson. Feeds it back. Claremont with a chance in their forward pocket. White might get this one back. No, Anderson's got other ideas. Throws on the boot. Can't really clear the area. Nice work down there, though. And sneaking out of defence is Jade Britton. She's going to turn it over on the way back in, though. Pugh has it. Wanted to take off even though she was already being held. Got the kick away just in time. DeManis close to the boundary. She'll do well to keep this in. Manages to squeeze a kick to the goal square. Almost a mark down there as well to the Tigers, but Peel, with the extra numbers, should be able to clear. And they do, although, again, the kick on the way back out is untidy. Jess Lowe could be a chance here to set something up. Spins through a tackle. Feeds the hand pass back, and they'll reload again. Taylor Evans with the kick towards full forward. Too much on it for White. And I think it's Anderson deep in defence again for Peel to save the day, but Claremont doing all the attacking early.
Anderson's been really solid at centre-half back this year for Peel, and she gets the ball across to Jade Britton, who was tackled off the footy by Goranova. And we see the lasso. So Goranova's hard work allows Gimanis to have another kick. She's been busy this season and already this game. Been impressed with her. Lots ahead is an interesting thing with Kira Phillips bringing Sarah Garstone towards the ball. That's a neat kick in. Didn't quite have the carry for White. Dangerous ball. Peel under pressure again. Coming the other way once more. Putting pressure on his Carter. She's looked likely already. Little whistle from a hold behind the play, I think from the non-controlling umpire. And it'll be a shot. It's just Carter with a bit of pressure on her speed at the moment. Ash, just trying to get through. She plays on straight away, pulls it around the corner for a goal. I was watching the umpire set the mark. I think the whole Peel Footy Club was waiting for her to go back and have a kick. Meanwhile, she runs around the corner and pulls in a beauty.
Yeah, that was very smart there by Carter.
A couple of things Carter's done there. Just it looks to be her speed there, a little worried. A couple of tugs of the jumper as she tried to push through the contests. He said just to ask the umpire if it's okay if she plays on. The umpire said, don't mind if you do. She gets a snagger. That's terrific, Mika Carter. Claremont on the board, 1 goal to 2, all the attacking, although Peel to this point have defended really well.
Yeah, they have defended really well. They're just really struggling to get it out of that Claremont's 50. It just cuts off there at the half-back line.
So back in the middle again. Big leap there from Lauren Quaife, slapping at Peel's way. They haven't spent much time in their attacking half, so be keen to get some field position. Strong tackle applied. However, the umpire said this is a dangerous tackle. And the free kick will go in the way of Ditchburn. So Ditchburn just forward of centre. Awkward kicking style. Might have been the inside-out torpedo in the end towards half-forward. Another free kick picked out. High contact. And now Greta McKinlay with the football. Can she find the target inside 50? She can. Just set it up. Allowed the players to come at the football, and Wrigley takes the mark. Centering kick, too much on it. Another holding free kick. Free kicks all the way down the field to Peel, and that will generate a shot for goal. There's a couple of Peel blondes lining up for this one, but it's going to go the way of McKinlay.
Kate Butler there on the side, on the right-hand side there, saying, give it to me. There's no one near me.
And she does. Gives the handball off. The Tigers arrive late, and a great smother in the end from Dumanis. It'll come back to Bartlett, though. Can they get the shot away in the end? No, they can't. They're caught holding the ball. Throw, in fact, is the final call from the umpire. Curious piece of football all the way from the centre with free kicks in the middle of the ground, and then couldn't actually generate a shot for goal. Claremont on the way back out towards the half-back line. Rowley keeps it in. Her hand pass is slapped away by the Tigers. They've worked it almost to the wing. Tackle applied down there by Whitney Benson. We'll see a ball up. Halfway through the first quarter, Peel haven't had a shot for goal yet, Diggs.
No, they tried. I guess they had one. I was hoping the defence down there were onto it because Ash Renshaw saw it from 280 metres away. So Germanis was onto it. We're in a battle in the middle of the field again. Briggs tries to... Oh, that's actually Lauren Quaife jamming this ball forward. Lots of hands up in that one. No one can control it. Ball bouncing around again. Goes past Bella Manigan, who's been busy in her first game. Heading forward for Claremont. It's a wonderful little dish off there over from Petreski. She gets it overhead, but owning all the space in the back 50 is Peel. It's a great run and spread. Looking for man again. She gets a horrible bounce, and it brings a couple of different plays into it. It'll end up in the hands of Robertson. She handballs to Tanisha Anderson. Great handball. Wrong teammate. And they'll have a ball up right at the top of 50. Good transition, Renshaw.
Yeah, that was really good transition there. I just noticing Claremont are just getting the numbers to the contest a lot more than Peel as well.
How much is heat a factor here today, or am I just overstating the warmth because we're up here? Meanwhile, sorry to answer my question. Robinson has a flying shot back into the team today after a couple of snaggers in the 2. Sorry, would there be any concern with the sunshine today? We've been playing in a pouring rain for 4 weeks.
No, there shouldn't be. There shouldn't be. But
I think the commentary box is 5 degrees warmer than outside.
I have to take this jumper off. I'm feeling for the players. I'm not out there playing. It's a great run and bounce, but unfortunately the ball's carried. It was a good aggressive play from Cassie Davison, but just too much on the kick. It'll be Zadnik. No, it's Germanis in front of us. Called from the coach's box to play on from next door. These Peel rooms offer great insight into coaches' stresses. It's Mika Carter again pulling the ball at the top of 50. Benson camped under it. Franklin made her work for it. Amanda Robinson swooped on the ball, but unrealistic attempt was the call. So Benson will have this one right in the goal square for Peel.
Umpire might not have seen Franklin play before. That was quite realistic for Franklin to have a crack at that mark.
Might even be just a little elbow on the shoulder, perhaps. The ball is really focused on this part of the ground. Peel obviously been instructed to exit towards coach's box side.
it's just not coming off the boot, is it?
I guess there's a little bit of pressure there too from the Claremont forwards, which has been good today. They've lacked pressure at times in the forward 50. Great throw in. Goes to Bennett at the back. She's just trying to control it. She's tackled without the ball and high and a little bit in the back too. So Bennett, sound striker of the football, gets this back to that little area we've been focused on so far. Robertson's the player that's going to have to do all the work here, and it's going to be just a little too much for her, although she does a great job in getting this ball out of bounds. Now if they bring this in 10 metres and throw it to the top of the square like they should, it's a great move here for Claremont.
It is. It would be a good move for tap down front and centre and a goal, but let's see what they do.
So the ruck contest will be between Franklin. No, she's been waved away by the umpire, so they didn't nominate in time. So Peel win the ruck tap unopposed in the end through Bundon, and that should make it a bit easier for them to clear it, although they can't get an outside defensive 50 still. White is there wrestling for the football, and the umpire will ball it up. It's the umpire that was umpiring the Rogers Cup as well, Ash, who made a couple of interesting calls in the time we were watching, so he's getting involved in the league match as well. As Claremont go towards full forward again, Franklin, the target, brings it to ground. There's a couple of players waiting front and centre. One of those is White. She stripped to the football immediately. Robertson and Winetti there as well. In comes Simmons. Good bump. They soccer it forward, the Tigers. Bundon can't find a target just yet. Peel defence under all sorts of pressure. Wrigley finds some space where there really didn't appear to be any. Clearing kick doesn't gain any ground. Smith's claiming the mark and the umpire pays it. Certainly appears to be the end that the breeze is favouring for Claremont. The kicks from Peel are holding up on the way back out. Benson tries to clear again. Intercepted though. Garstone has it. Slung to ground. Got the hand pass away. The umpire didn't like the tackle. And there'll be a free kick coming back to Garstone, who is a good kicker of the football, even though she's not a noted goal kicker, being more of a defender. But I think with this breeze behind her, she might make the distance from here.
Reasonably renowned for being stroppy too. So Kira Phillips just starting to get a bit antagonistic down there. And that's the issue I was saying before, Ash. It's all good Kira Phillips going and helping out, but she's taking Garstone to the ball.
Let's see her kick for goal. The ball drop wasn't great. It started to swing back, but it's a behind only. So Claremont have dominated the first 15 minutes, Ash, and the breeze, there's a windsock that's looking a bit old and tired and a bit ratty on top of the old Mandurah Mustangs board on the far side. But I do think it's favouring Claremont, but have they made enough of it?
Well, they've had 5 shots on goal, and they've kicked 1 goal, so I'm going to say no, they haven't. But that's all right.
But comments from Ash Renshaw, I can't argue at all. Ball back to this little area of the ground, which is covered by a light post from our commentary box, but it's all good. Simmons from Smith. No real clear possession, but ball going forward. Dowston reads it well, but lots of pressure straight away. Low, back feed to Bennett. Another handball in board is good too. Ricochets off a body in the hands of Peel. Lots of players around this ball. Peel have lost their length. They're hard to travel. Ortlet tries to keep her feet, but crashing in beautifully down there. Look to be Wrigley, and we'll have another ball up. What was that last body in there? Was that Wrigley? Great work from her. Fierce pressure on Ortlet. Such a clean player in these situations. There's a block or a shepherd in the ruck. Simmons must have turned her back on Bundon. Bundon will have the resultant free kick. Game's opened up now. Barnes kicks a floater to Bennett, who does really well in this situation with good pressure again from Wrigley to take the intercept mark. She's got runners on the far side. It's a dangerous kick. Shows enough to Mann. Mann, a clever player. Rogers Cup to this day. Handball's not quite good enough. Bennett's got one over the shoulder because she got low and hard at that contest and actually forced McKinley tackle high. Low on the far side. Neat catch. Did well to hold her up there, Briggs. Looking for the corridor now, it's Bennett. Bennett's having a 6th or 7th possession in the last couple of seconds. She's confronted front on by Bundon. She won't get away with that one. Dave Lindsay holding the ball. Free kick to Bundon.
So time ticking away for Peel. Just over 3 minutes to go in this first quarter. The loss today doesn't necessarily mean Peel missed the finals. They're just going to have to hope that Swans beat East Fremantle by a bit more than what Peel lose by today, if that's the way the game ends up. 17 is Bill's hit for Peel. She gets the kick forward. The 2 number 3s doing battle. Ryu being hassled there by Carter. Support arrives for the Tigers. It allows Ryu to break away with the footy, although her hand pass was charged down by Briggs close to the line. Briggs happy to see that one over. And Sarah Ryu, saw her play against East Fremantle a couple of weeks ago. She was outstanding in defence. So looking forward to seeing what she can do this afternoon as well. Boundary umpire comes in the 10 metres. And the ball to be tossed back into play. Marley Simmons in the ruck. Gets it over the back. No runners there for Claremont though. Ditchburn couldn't take it. Jess Lowe has it now for the Tigers. Gets through some traffic. Kick smothered though. Opportunity perhaps for Peel late in the quarter. The hand pass was a hopeful one being sent forward. Ryu's hand pass into space. Searching for a teammate. In the end it's collected by Barnett. She can't do much with it either. Peel forwards applying good pressure to keep this ball in. And eventually they'll force another stoppage. Left forward pocket. 2 minutes to go in the quarter. They trail by 10, the Thunder.
Some good work from Peel's forwards. Lots of pressure now. Repeat entries. Claremont starting to lose their shape as well behind the ball. And as Dave Lindsay said, ticking down to quarter time. So Peel have got time to score, plenty of time to score here with it from the position they're in right now. Trying to rove the pack at the back there was good. Handball is an interesting choice when you're trying to take a bit of grass off the opponent's outlet, able to backfeed and get this ball clear for Claremont. Going back in through Roberts. Roberts really starting to show her elite movement. That's Jessica Lowe's picked her pocket and actually drove the ball towards the wing. It's in the hands of Peel again, so they're going to get another entry. One's okay, intercept mark is good, and it's Laura Pugh. So Claremont spreading out now. So bottled up, you can see her indecision. That's due to the bottling. That actually could be Mika Carter down there working backwards in defence. It's with Marley Simmons now, who fumbles the ball beautifully forward. Ends up in the hands of Evans, who really drives the ball long. Robertson can't do enough to keep the ball in the area, and Jade Britton's held good width on a wing. She takes the mark in front of Sarah Goranova. Jade Britton's kick. She's going to carry again. It's a messy passage of play here. Carter looks back to be back behind the ball for this last part of this quarter. Lots of pushing and shoving. It's a little bit of staging for a kick too, and why not? Tui Winetti drives the ball forward. This is going to be a very good result here for Franklin on Benson. If the ball was hit for Franklin, it's a goal. It hasn't. It hasn't even gone end over end. It's gone belly over belly through for a point. Long ball in. You'd have a lot of money on Amy Franklin in that situation with her basically the ball between her and the goals.
I'd like to have been able to read the mind of Whitney Benson as that ball went over the back of her head. Amy Franklin is a racehorse. I'm not sure Benson would have been able to chase her down. But Peel have done enough to just hang on here. They haven't scored in the first quarter, but they've only conceded an 11-point deficit in the first term. As the siren will sound to end this first quarter. And the Tigers had the breeze and didn't really make the most of it. 6 shots on goal, only for the one major. They lead it by 11 points at quarter time down here at David Gray's Arena. We'll be back to have a look at all the highlights from the first quarter and a very big second quarter when the Thunder have the breeze. They trail by 11.
All the great teams have many things in common. That ability to deliver when it counts. That certain style about the way they do things. That ongoing quest to be the best.
Goes back to back.
And at Kia, that team mantra is everything. We're proud to support the WAFLW and proud to offer Australia's best 7-year warranty. Because with Kia, we've got your back.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
Sorry. It's funny.
Dad.
Party purpose.
Bring your family together. Introducing Optus Family Plan with 4 SIMs and 250 gigs of data to share.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
It's quarter time in round 7. Peel Thunder hosting Claremont down here at David Gray's Arena in Mandurah. Great day for footy. Bit of breeze about. Claremont had the breeze in the first quarter and they lead by 11 points. As you can see, the Peel Thunder huddle. They've broken up into their lines after their coach had the first word with them. A little bit unusual. Normally the coach waits and lets the assistants have the first crack, but today they've reversed that. Obviously a few things they wanted to address after a scoreless first quarter, and the Tigers really not making the most of the breeze, kicking 1 goal 5. And this match, as we've mentioned right off the top, has so much riding on it for these two teams. Claremont sitting 3rd, Peel sitting 5th. A win and you're in the finals, a loss, and it could well be the end of your season here today. Dave Lindsay, Clint Daggerott and Ash Renshaw, your commentary team. Ash, what do you make of the first quarter? It was a bit messy at times, but Claremont seemed to control all the play. They only lead by 11 points though.
Yeah, Claremont, they did play that quarter very well. They were first to the footy in all contests, and then they were first to react to the umpire's whistle, whereas Peel just got caught off a little bit. However, Peel did do really well to hold on there with 6 scoring shots for Claremont to 0 to Peel.
What do you reckon might have been the message from their coaching staff there? They were very keen to get in as a group very quickly. Is it something they wanted to address about the first quarter, or more planning for quarter number 2?
For Peel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were just planning for quarter number 2. They held on well. Like I said, they were really lucky to only get 1 goal kicked against them. It could have been 6. So, yeah, I just think they're down there resetting, taking on the second quarter with the wind.
Some of the highlights on screen at the moment from the first quarter. As we said, just the 1 goal. Mika Carter, who had a lot of the football in the first term, playing mostly as a forward, but then dropping behind the ball late in the quarter. She kicked the only goal of the term, and then Claremont kicked another 3 behinds after that. So 1 goal, 5 to no score. As we look in at the Claremont huddle, wearing their Indigenous jumpers. Both teams in their Indigenous uniforms this afternoon, which is always good to see, Dex, when the teams get their opportunity to wear it. It's probably something that might need to happen a bit more. Maybe the Clash jumper could be the Indigenous jumper across AFL and across WAFL competitions as well.
I know the players love wearing them. They're always snazzy, and I think it's a great way that you can demonstrate, the inclusion of your teammates, particularly those ones of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander descent. So the girls love wearing it for their mates, and the girls themselves love wearing it. The Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander girls love wearing them. So I agree. There should be more of it. I think anything that makes teams more inclusive and more fun is something that should happen more often. Having a look around these two teams, there's some talent that's not playing today. Isabella Lewis over there in a moon boot. Sarah Verrier's got a little issue with her foot. There's Jasmine Stewart running in the Silks again. So there's been some outstanding talent in the Silks this year. Your club itself has had some high quality. So has East Fremantle. Highlights from you for your club in the Silks this year. Who have you had? You had Miller.
Yep, we've had Miller.
You had Schmidt.
Yeah, Amy Schmidt. We've got Janelle Cuthbertson.
And
Stannett.
Yeah.
Well, she's not in the Silks anymore, but I'm hoping to see her in 2021. Tia Haynes.
Yes. Are we allowed to talk about? There's a player playing her first game tomorrow for Subiaco.
There is.
Do you
number
wanna drop
9 has come out of retirement at Subiaco, and it's not me. It's Amy Lavelle.
If it's a win tomorrow, do you throw her in the middle of the circle and douse her in sports drink and water?
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
As long as it's all got her name on it and her number, because you can only do that.
I noticed the Peel Rogers Cup team after they won the game earlier today against Subiaco, which was interesting to see Peel playing Subiaco in Rogers Cup and then Peel and Claremont in the league. But that's another story altogether. But they threw Gracie Fenton in the middle of the circle, who's played most of the season in league, and I think decided, seeing as you're back in Rogers Cup and we've had a win, we're going to just soak you at the end of the day. So she was in the middle of the circle.
Glad I missed that tradition as a player.
So we're about to start the second quarter. Peel get a crack with the breeze at their back, which will be interesting to see if they can use it better than Claremont. Equally, it'll be interesting to see if the Tigers can find a way to score into the wind. We might need a secondary ball up to split it. The other thing that's also fascinating is just that mental thing that the breeze does that seems to make the midfielders get to the ball first when you got the breeze at the back as well. Claremont get to this ball. Evans is tackled and brought to ground, and the umpire will need to split this one up again. You can see on our screen both wingers just dropping behind the ball for both teams at this ball up. Another Shepherd called in the ruck, and it's going to go Peel's way again. So the umpire picking out a couple of offences against the Claremont ruck in Marley Simmons, so she'll need to address that and get used to the way this game's being umpired. Goranova off half back. Had a bit of space to work. That's a good kick into the breeze, and Brooke White does a good job to almost pull that mark in, but at least gets a touch to it, and it's out of bounds for a throw-in rather than a free kick, as we've played a minute into this second quarter.
That was great work there by Garanova.
A real clean set of heels to get to that ball too, that contest too, and then a fantastic kick. Much improved player. Well, she's put her head down and worked season 2020. Playing in the All-Stars game. If she's not playing any further in this season, which we hope she is, Jessica Lowe tackling, for her sake that is. Nice little restart here from the Claremont mids, just holding Peel up at the moment. Big jump from Quaife. Does pull the ball down. It's low again. She's getting her hands on the ball early, although she's well tackled there by Bill Sitch again. Done some bullocking work today, Bulsich. Southwest product. Daughter of a gun. Just low. Tackled without the ball this time. And this is going to be the first sort of open play. Wrigley really sweating on how hard Lowe's been working. So good defence, just a bit earnest. Across to Goranova. Finds a hole after a little fumble initially. Petrevsky beautifully down and stepping left and right, right on the top of 50. Peel wise to that. And a little bit more of the same. Ash, lots and lots of restarts.
Yes, there is. Lots of stoppages.
Ball at pressure. Ball out to Anderson. Read that well. Looks to clear the ball towards Briggs. Briggs a little fumble and a lovely little flick there across to benefit a teammate, although the Cavalry's arrive for Peel. Lots of pressure on the ball now. Just Jade Britton using her pace to try and get clear. Can't quite. Mickey Carter likewise just drops that in a very fierce tackle from Jade Briggs. It's worked up the ground. Left foot kick. Flat punt carries in the hands of Pugh. Does that well, doesn't she? And then a 9.5 metre handball to benefit Bennett. Can't quite get the run of it. She moves it forward to Carter. Carter, lovely little backstep. She got the reverse beeps on. That was fantastic. Briggs, though, stays in the contest. Trying to get this ball out there is Anderson as well. Lots going on the far side. Big numbers. Briggs trying to get that left foot swinging as well. She's pulled off the kick. She's cast in the role of a secondary tackler is Quaife again. Carried her forward. Holding the ball. Holding the ball to Quaife. Mountain of ruck work for Peel this year. Can't quite hold that one is Briggs. It's on the ground again. Tackle pressure fierce from Claremont once more. Going on underneath the scoreboard. By letting it play, we have another restart. So that'll be 6 or 7. 6 or 7 bounces.
Yeah, 6 or 7.
Well played.
Oh, and all played between the arcs.
So 2 players sprinting off. I think it's the Peel player who's coming off, Chloe Wrigley, with a bit of blood on her face. Jess Lowe is going to beat her for the sprint to the boundary, but I think it's just rotations for Jess. Yes, the Peel replacement player in Bellaman is being called on. So the umpire's telling the players they can come on a bit early with the blood rule, but the players not prepared to take the risk. So we've got a bit of a hold up, and this is one of the issues, obviously, with time being not blowing off in these games. The clock continues to run, so we're already 4 minutes into wind assisted time for Peel in this quarter, and they haven't scored as yet. Nice bit of work off half-back again from Anderson. Got it in front of Franklin and then sent it long with the right boot. It'll be touched by Briggs. Stays inside the field of play. She'll get it back by a hand. Gets onto the left boot. Just tumbles the kick in towards the attacking 50. McKinlay has her Claremont player just trailing behind her. Hand pass didn't hit a target though. Bennett off to Smith and Claremont can rebound. The kick high up and under. A couple of Tigers underneath the football. Unfortunately, Simmons couldn't reel that one in. Man is tackled, loses the football. Might have hurt her ankle there as well. That's holding the ball.
That was a great tackle.
A whole lot of prior opportunity for Bellaman.
The free kick will go the way of the Tigers. And it'll be Taylor Evans to take it. Spots up her teammate nicely. And on the lead is Petrevsky. She looked inside, didn't like what she saw, decided to poke a little short kick over the top of the player on the mark. Man probably could have marked that. Petrevsky followed up well to make up for a mistake. Now a tackle being applied by Winetti. Tunnel ball's out the back towards Little. Couldn't handle it. 2 Peel players fighting over the same football. And now Franklin applies a good tackle. The umpire just paused for a moment. Thought he was going to pull the trigger there, Deggs. He was setting himself up for the big hole in the ball call, but then decided, no, we'll just ball it up.
Jade Britton tackling a Ditchburn. Speaking of tackling, we're straight on to another one. That ball's not going anywhere. Fierce tackle. Again. Tap down from Simmons. Tries to rove her own ball in the way it's Bellaman. And she's ripped to the ground by Winetti. And we'll do it again. Fine day. 6 scoring shots to none at this stage. Lauren Quaife in the ruck this time. Simmons wins it down again. Briggs trying to get the ball away. Simmons calm back to Alice Smith. Tumbles the ball towards the top of 50. And Anderson comes out and takes a terrific almost mark. But someone's been held going the other way. So a little bit of a tug on the jumper from Franklin. Worrying her opposition player as well. She's looking to move it on quickly. She's got a long ball strike. She can drop this in the square. She's got the confidence to. She wants to connect instead. Goes over her head and finds Rowley. Rowley comes out to the far side of the ground looking for Cassie Davison's got some work cut out for her. Lovely tapped and intelligent one. Going underneath the tackle was terrific. from Hannah Church, but unfortunately, after she beat the first one, there was a second one waiting for her. Petrevsky, sister of terrific talent, first season. Sam Petrevsky-Seaton. It's Shannon Whale in front, nearly taking a good mark. Geez, those Peel halfbacks really attacked the ball well. Attempted kick again, pulled off it by Goranova. Good defence. Ball coming in from Evans. Franklin, clever in this situation usually. Lovely spike down from Peel into the hands of Dowson. And then off to Little, who's able to clear out towards the wing. And Briggs.
Briggs giving chase. She's opposed by Paige Hamilton-Smith. Claremont get the extra number there to support. That's Smith. She's caught. Shrugs the tackle. Does very well to get away. The kick inside, though, won't hit the target, and that's a good mark by Ditchburn. It was an ambitious bit of play from Ella Smith. She doesn't mind taking the game on. Unfortunately, didn't work out this time. Kick out towards Rowley, who can take this one on the bounce. Sends it towards half forward. Good long kick in. Clears the pack. Tigers actually tap it straight to Peel in the end. Bartlett, centering ball. Coming across to collect it this time is Kira Phillips. Haven't seen too much of her today. She was searching for Britton. Britton receives a nice little paddle. Goes with the banana kick to a vacant goal square. Doesn't bend, though. And just the one behind. The first score for Peel, taken 1/4 and 8 minutes. And they've got it behind on the board, but at least they've got it locked in their attacking 50, Ash.
Yeah, they do. You just said about Kira Phillips, we haven't seen her much, but when you do see her, she does get the footy. She can do some damage.
Open play. This is Smith, Claremont skipper, pokes the ball towards a teammate. Ingy Madison, it skips over the line and will be in the hands of Peel. Long way from here. Look inside. Kicking style of Bellaman towards Briggs, who can't quite get herself into the right position. Trying to win the ball at the back now is Evans. She's got a lot of pressure on her from Briggs. The ball chopped towards the goal square. Has to be touched before it does, and Sarah Garstone's been cast in that role before. And she was the person for that occasion. It's okay, shows plenty of it. Good mark taken in the end. And it's Smith once more. Been busy this quarter. Smith, another good season. Unfortunately, give her a little compliment, and it just puts a bit of extra right to left on the boot, and it's out on the full. Rowley this time, kicking the ball in. High flies with Claremont. No one touched it, though. It's in the hands of Phillips at the top of the goal square. Dangerous position because she's nice and strong. She can pull the ball over the shoulder really well. Wise to that was all up. They've played a lot of footy against each other, and maybe that experience is what saved the day for the moment. Back on the line now is Claremont, and they're able to spill the ball over the line through Evans.
That was well done there by Rachel Ortlett. She's used to cleaning up mess from her twin sister Claire. So, she's good at cleaning up in the back line.
Little drive by there by Ash Renshaw. I'm sure the Ortlips will either be listening in or replaying this one.
Yeah, they will be.
They'll definitely tune in. Bellaman has it for Peel. They're enjoying a bit of time inside 50. This one going deep forward. Ortlip has it off hands. No mark paid. Little hand pass releases Pugh. Kicks with the left boot. And that mark's been paid. Peel player went to ground. Peel coaches next to us didn't like it. But Bennett was paid the mark. On the way back out, Dowson was in good position. Ball went straight through the hands. Demanis worked off the footy. Lowe was strong at the contest. Peel sent the hand pass forward. Pugh prepared to leave her player. Couldn't take possession. Now the tackle. She might have just carried her opponent forward. And the free kick has been paid to Peel. An opportunity for them to move this one on. The kick's gone very wide, though, and it's gone out of bounds on the full. I reckon that might be Chloe Wrigley. Is it? She gone to number 1 after the blood rule? I think she was the one that came off under the blood rule before, and now we hadn't had the number 1 out there, but we do now. So free kick to Claremont in the left back pocket. But as we saw this in the first quarter, Claremont owned the footy and owned field position for a long time, couldn't score, and now it's happening to Peel.
Yeah, it is. They're really struggling to get it out of that 50 left of screen.
The third time Claremont have kicked it out of the full on the far side of the ground. So Peel have got a chance to bring this ball in again. Church, usually a good strike of the football. This one was touched off the boot, and it's shallow anyway. Percentage of taking shots from that side and not squaring it up, Ash, or fast play inside 50?
Yeah, they're probably just lowering their eyes. There are a lot of Peel girls leading to the footy, but they're just wanting to get it deep into the square.
Claremont are going to try and bring it out on this side of the ground this time. Talking about Ortlip again. She's turned the ball over inside, and it's in the hands of Bilsich. Bilsich very quickly finds Chloe Wrigley. No, Chloe Wrigley. It is Chloe Wrigley, and she pulls it across to, is it Briggs over there? It's Hannah Church, I think, on the chest, and that's better play. Bit of slow play, bit of breathing. Still quite pulled the trigger quite quickly on those different occasions, but they were able to use their vision. And it is Hannah Church. Looks a bit like Bailey Malloy wearing number 1, or is it just a change of jumper? Church, on approach, good striker of the football. She should be able to open Peel's account. On the way, a little stagger start towards the end. So watch the body language. She gives it the double fist pump and takes a couple of cuddles and a couple of fives from her teammates. Nice work from Peel finally, able to control a bit of control ball inside 50.
Yeah, they were, and that was just like I was saying before. Claremont have some really good backliners down there in Pew and Garstone who are really good at reading the footy and taking those marks. So when they brought it out, then they just lowered their eyes, hit a few small targets, got closer to goal, and then got the finished product.
I have to say, we've had some runners in the silks of very, very high quality, but we have never had a cooler runner than that gentleman down there who is running the Ironman beard and moustache and the Aviators. Solid work.
It's also got the dangly cross hanging from the right earlobe as well. It's a very cool style. Normally seeing AFLW players out there doing the running. Claremont going forward. Carter takes the mark from the Smith kick. That kick's not her best. Petrovski's going to have to do a lot of work here to win this footy. She can't. And now Peel might be able to get away. Great work, though, by the Tigers. Going over with a smother and a bit of pace to dash away. 2 bounces, gets inside 50, and then pokes the kick to Franklin. Wasn't bad use of the footy, but great alert defending. Soccering off the deck from Franklin. She's missed. And the first score to the right of your screen for the entire match goes Claremont's way. Exciting footy from Goranova.
Shannon Whale there too, closing.
She was the one that came at the end.
A couple of times. That's the goal-saving spell. Great work from Goranova just to hold that ball off. And this is a good control ball movement again. It goes through Wrigley's hands. She's got a problem now because there's about 5 Tigers around this ball. She does well enough to get a ball up after Goranova snicked it off her. She was able to put Goranova in a very good tackle. Simmons again. There's a fair bit of whistling going on the oval behind us, I think, but this one's for us. It's a hold off the ball. Defensive kick's okay. Looking for Briggs. Goranova's got the sit, and she's able to take a very good mark behind the ball. Looks like Zadnik gave her a bit of a block as well. Was that Hamilton Smith? Gave her a bit of a block behind as well. Neatly done. Corridor kick's okay to low. A little bit too far, and it's Whale again. Whale's just starting to come into this game. Peel halfbacks are good. It's in the path of Roberts. Roberts, exciting young talent from Margaret River. She absolutely cleans out her heels, puts it in the path of in Bartlett. Can it sit for Bartlett? It can. She'll be usually good in this situation. She uses the shin and gets it very, very skinny. And it's 1 point, and you can't help but feel that's a little bit of a miss for Peel.
It is, but that was very good ball movement by them.
Fast was Ella Smith.
Very fast.
2-metre penalty now. Crystal Carter infringing. Obviously tried to get to the fullback before the umpire call play on. It's very generous. 50 here.
I think it now gets set from that new mark.
The 19
yeah, so it almost brings you to the middle of the ground.
Peel under immediate pressure after some fantastic ball movement. This is going to go straight into the hands of Peel. Doesn't quite clean that up, so it's low. Low just picks it up and just pokes it forward. Now, if this can get out the back, Franklin's been caught just wrestling with Benson. That's not her go. Should be using a bit of foot speed. It's a good tackle from Franklin now on Benson. And there'll be a ball up inside 50. Franklin needs to spread there. She's waiting to explode, you can see, but Whitney Benson played a lot of football.
So Franklin contests the ruck this time. Tackling is White. No one really wants this football. They know if they grab it, they'll be tackled and could be penalised. So in the end, a lot of half grabs of the footy, half grabs of a player, and eventually we get a ball up. The Rucks go at it again. Lauren Quaife wins that and then holds her head. Doesn't get a free kick though. Good tackle applied there by Evans. Jars the ball free. Peel have some spare players forward of the ball. And the mark taken by Church. She's kicked their only goal. They trail by a point. They've moved this ball quickly. Roberts again. Good delivery to Bartlett. Well, she's done 2 or 3 very nice things in the last couple of minutes. Bartlett's little kick towards the corridor. No one can mark. Tackle by Briggs. Ball comes out. Roberts is there again. She leaves it for a teammate. Roberts gets it eventually. Phillips has a chance. She's being held on to according to the umpire. Out the back, the kick's been on goal. The umpire wants to pay advantage. It's been allowed. It's a goal to Bartlett. And Peel hit the front for the first time today. So Bartlett was alert. But, gee, some of the work of Ella Roberts there. First time I've seen her play. She's exciting, Ash.
Yeah, she is. I've just, on the team sheet here, circled her name, given her a tick. She's had a very good last 5 minutes.
Margaret River product, Kane LaFontaine Roberts, an East Perth player, had a lot to do with a terrific family too. It's great to see her getting a league game and earning it too. Hats off too to Kira Phillips, who kept her feet there, which enabled her to draw that free kick and Bartlett capitalised. Saw Kira Phillips just give her a begrudging high five. That was my goal, young Barty, she said. It's Quaife into the hands of Wrigley. Wrigley gets the ball away just in time. It's Church now and Evans. Evans goes through in reverse, does really well, but then gives it to Church. Church has been instrumental in the last couple of forward movements for Peel. He's busy again. And she's instrumental in just getting another ball up. Lauren Quaife as well. And picking herself up last is Emily Bennett. Got a bit of a hobble up. Quaife this time. Simmons has been the master today. Although Bennett just rips the ball out and kicks it around the shoulder. Lands in Petrevski's hands. She plays on straight away. Should be good enough for White, although she oversteps it and brings Bella Mann into it. Bella Mann handballs it to basically to Amanda Robinson. She's doing some work here now, Bella Mann. It's hard to believe she's on debut. Handball eventually out to Claremont. A fierce tackle carried into the turf down there. Delivered from Rowley. Another ball up. Quaife this time. Smith immediately tackled. Church is having a purple patch. Around this football now, some quality players. They've had a big influence on the last couple of minutes. It's Bennett. Finds a way to bullock and ball out. She's called for a throw. So it's Church now. Very politely handed off by Ella Smith. Church looks for Dowson, who's run up. Oh, she just didn't have the ability to take the next step. It's Ella Roberts at her feet, tracking this ball nicely. Spins and drops her handball back beautifully to Wrigley, who's smothered again by Goranova. Goranova's been king of the 1%. As Pugh paddles it into a teammate's path. This time handball's fired out and Smith off one step puts it down the throat of Peel defence.
It appears that Ella Roberts has decided, I'm going to break this game open. She's getting involved in everything, and everything she touches is turning to gold for Peel at the moment. They go towards half forward on the long lead. A couple of good bites from Phillips. Couldn't take the mark though. This hand pass has been put into the path of Peel, although unable to collect it cleanly was Anderson. The accidental soccer kick goes towards the boundary. She leaves it for a teammate. Little's hand pass misses the target. Now Claremont's pressure might win out. Petrevski wins the football. There's space forward of the ball for the Tigers, so that diving mark is a saving one for Peel. It's been well taken by Davidson because Franklin was probably out the back door if that ball got over the top. And now with about 45 seconds to go on the clock, Peel need to control this footy. Davidson goes back to Little. Looks to the open side. There's some leads there, but they're well covered. So she's forced to come back towards the broadcast side. The ball hangs in the breeze. White going back makes the spoil. Through comes Benson. Takes the footy with her. Does well. Shows a bit of turn of speed as well as she clears the area. The kick to the wing. McKinley couldn't take it. Just knocked it to a teammate. Bill Sitch's high ball. Long towards half forward. Ryu's given away a free kick here to Roberts. No, it's going Ryu's way. Roberts is the one who infringed high. And Ryu gets the free kick. Dangerous kick into the middle of the ground. Claremont need to hold this up. 10 seconds to go in the quarter. They need to win this footy or at least force the stoppage. They might do the latter, and they do. And so Peel with 2 goals with the breeze. Claremont's only goal coming in the first quarter with the breeze. And as a result, the Thunder lead it by 5 points at half-time in this match that's going to decide which one of these two teams guarantees themselves a spot in the finals next week. Butler with a goal, Church with a goal in that quarter, Carter with Claremont's only goal in the first quarter. And after all of that, it's Peel Thunder 2-5-17, leading Claremont 1 goal, 6-12. As the teams get together out on the field before heading to the rooms, it's been a huge first half of footy. There's the Claremont huddle. They're just waiting for the last couple of players to get in there before they have a quick chat. And then they'll head to the box to listen to their coach. Half-time, Peel by 5 points. Back with all the half-time action in a moment.
Hey, darling. So I was thinking maybe we could all go out for dinner.
Oh, I wish, but I need to finish this prezzo.
Oh, let's go. I'll just take the kids. Okay, all right, bye. Thank you.
Champagne soup? Yeah. Bring your family together.
What?
New Optus Family Plan includes 4 SIMs and the McAfee Safe family app.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
The V6 twin turbo rear wheel drive Kia Stinger. It took 7 years to create and 4.9 seconds to understand why.
If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
Half-time down here at David Gray's Arena in Mandurah, and the Thunder lead at the half-time break by 5 points, 2-5-17 to 1-6-12. This weekend, WA football is coming together to celebrate NAIDOC round and the amazing contribution of Aboriginal people to the game of Australian rules football. There have been no greater contributors over the years than Western Australia's Noongar people. To take a closer look at the story of the Noongar people and their passion and talent for football, we have a special feature for today's half-time show, thanks to Beyond West and Budwell Media.
Kaya ngala jep jenong nenok nenak jeneng ngala mort boja nyonga boja. We are the Nyunga, the people of the southwest. This is our land, which we called our boja, our place. Nyonga boja. We believe we'll be there forever. We're part of the land on which we stand. Before the white people, the Waidalas, arrived, we lived as 14 separate states within the one Nyunga nation, from Geraldton in the north to Esperance down the south, with our own distinct culture, our law, and our territories. A sustainable and largely peaceful society, refined over thousands of generations as we cared for our boja, hunting and gathering, playing, performing. When the Waidalas first arrived, nearly 200 years ago, we tried to make friends with them, to learn the ways of these strangers. But as more and more ships bring more and more Waidalas to take our land, to hunt our animals, cut down our trees, and search for gold, we have been torn from our land, from our country. We begin to die from guns, poison, diseases, and starvation. In 1905, the Aboriginal Act meant that white men can now also take our children from us and make us live on reserves and in missions. We couldn't move about without a permit, and if we were in town, we had to be out by nightfall. They were very difficult times for us Nyunga people. We were in trouble. We were still classified as fauna and flora until 1967. But one thing Wadjalas, missionaries and priests did to try to shut us up turned out to be really helpful. They gave us the oval ball to kick around. It came in the 1890s, and soon it became a passion for all the kids caught in the missions or homes, in the reserves, and on the wrong side of the tracks. Playing rough and tumble, it was in our DNA. We took that game and made it our own, and the stars came out. The first Indigenous player to play in a winning game was Nyunga Jimmy Melbourne, who played in the West Perth Premiership team in 1901. The first Indigenous Premiership team were the Moore River Wanderers, who played in the Northern League in 1913. That included names like Riders, Headlands, Taylors and Whites. And everywhere Nyunga people went, we set the ground on fire. And in the 1950s, Polly Farmer got hold of an East Perth jumper, and the rest, as they say, is history. Welcome to Nyunga Footy Magic.
What an emotional, inspiring story. For more Noongar Footy Magic videos featuring so many of WA's most talented players, please visit JB Hi-Fi, iTunes or Google Play Store to watch the entire series. We're down here at Mandurah, David Gray's Arena. Rushton Park is the venue, and it's the Peel Thunder side leading Claremont by 5 points at half-time, 2-5 playing 1-6. And a win today for either team guarantees finals action next week. A loss, and they've got to watch nervously tomorrow as Swan Districts take on East Fremantle to decide the rest of the top four. We'll take a break here. On the other side, we've got a massive second half of footy to come. Peel by 5 points at half-time.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
The V6 twin turbo rear wheel drive Kia Stinger. It took 7 years to create and 4.9 seconds to understand why.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
Hey, darling. So I was thinking maybe we could all go out for dinner.
I wish, but I need to finish this prezzo.
Oh, that's cool. I'll just take the kids. Okay, all right, bye. Thank you. What can I get?
Champagne soup?
Yeah.
Bring your family together.
What?
New Optus Family Plan includes 4 SIMs and the McAfee Safe Family app.
David Gray's Arena, Peel Thunder and Claremont at half time, and Peel lead it by 5 points, 25-17 to 16-12. Fantastic day down here in Mandurah. There's a bit of breeze favouring the goals you can see on the screen just there, or you could see just before we see the umpires here for the WAFLW match that will follow this one as well. So South Fremantle are down here to take on Peel in the WAFLW. But we're watching the WAFL Women's League match between Peel and Claremont, and it's a 5-point lead to the Thunder. Let's have a look at some of the highlights from the second quarter, which Ash Renshaw was pretty much dominated by Peel. They were able to lock the ball in their attacking half and then managed to get a couple of goals for their effort as well, and that's why they're leading at half time.
Yeah, it is. So during that, at the start of that second quarter, there was a lot of stoppages, a lot of pressure, and then a girl named Ella Roberts stepped up and broke it really apart. And yeah, it was Peel really made the most of that wind going that way, and then Claremont just struggled just a little bit there to get it out.
Ella Roberts, Diggs, you were telling us off air that she's the grand old age of 15, so obviously just a little bit of a future ahead of her.
Yeah, if she's turned 16, it would have been recently. Big future. Nice kid, a great family. Good sporting prowess down there. And they're very well liked by the Peel Football Club too, the Roberts family. So they come with big raps, but effectively she's just a young person just learning her way. She's got a long way between here and the next part of her journey, but doing a lot of learning and at a club that promotes their youth very well.
Ash, I reckon you'd be over at that bouncy castle just on the screen pretty soon. There's not too many people over there. I reckon we could probably sneak over there just on the siren of this game and get a couple of jumps in before the kids arrive for the men's match.
Yeah. Brought to you by Voltaren.
Yeah, that can count as my cardio. Haven't done that since I retired last year, so yeah, definitely get the heart rate up for once.
The Claremont huddle pretty tight at the top of their goal square.
I haven't done any cardio since I retired.
That's the idea of retirement, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
No more cardio.
You're still allowed to walk around the block.
We haven't seen Peel reappear after the half-time break either. They're going to be late arrivals onto the field for this third quarter, which, Degs, is a massive quarter for them. They lead now, but we saw how much trouble they had in the first quarter, not only trying to score into the breeze, but actually clear the ball out of their defensive end. If they give Claremont 6 looks at goal in this quarter, you wouldn't imagine the Tigers would make the same mistake they did in the first quarter and only convert 1 or 2.
Well, you saw Steve Markham stride, and you made the comment, stride the down to the group and have the first word. Some of that, I think, I'm going to sort of go to Ash here. Some of that, I think, might have been stop and control the ball a little bit, stop handballing the ball randomly. Overusing. So I imagine that was the instruction from Peel, and it was 6 scoring shots to 0, and I think the quarter finished 8 scoring shots to 7.
For the half-time, it's 7 apiece now, 2-5 to 1-6. Yeah.
So it was 1 scoring shot to 7 in the second quarter, Peel's way. So that little bit of composure was really good. I imagine that's a very similar message that Andrew De Loretta's just given to his group too, just saying there's times when we can actually take some speed off the ball, breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth and get a lateral connection, because you can see what Sarah Goranova can do on her wing. She's actually playing in the midfield and getting all around the ground, but of course you can see, as Ash talked about too, what happens when Ella Roberts can get the ball in front of her. So I'd love to see Amy Franklin push up and then get the ball dropped over the back, and I think Ella Roberts, we'd all enjoy seeing both those players be served that. It'll be 12 goals each if that happens.
Ash, what is it about the mindset of midfielders when you know you've got the breeze at your back? Why do they get to the ball first all of a sudden? Because we see that so often where a midfield's on top when the breeze is behind them, and then the next quarter, the opposition midfielder seems to take over.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think it's just a bit of a mind game, really. With that being said, I've never been a midfielder. I've been that forward. So I would just say maybe it's just it's in a mind thing.
Trenshaw, our special comments, played state footy and was definitely playing on a wing when she was recruited into the then Talent Academy. Playing a wing at West Perth before moving across. And I reckon you played on the wing for the Titans for a little while too before retiring forward, before officially retiring. So very humble Ash Renshaw, but has played state footy, been involved in state programs, and definitely ran outside. Was an outside mid for a long time in her career.
I've noticed, Dex, that she's put the phone away. Normally our experts, the phone's pinging all day, or the mates are watching the stream and offering advice. So she's been very focused.
Yeah, it is on Do Not Disturb.
You get 35 messages by the time you get off. I like to see mine because it reminds me how bad at this game I actually am. So keeps you humble.
Well, this is a huge quarter in the context of these two teams' season because Claremont need to put some score on the board. They can't afford to turn for three-quarter time behind by any sort of deficit. They probably need to have a couple of goals buffer the way this game has gone. The only goals of the game have been kicked to the left of screen. As we get ourselves underway here in the third quarter, it'll be the same rucks that have done most of the work today. Lauren Quaife wearing the Peel jumper, but she was beaten on this occasion by Marley Simmons, and Claremont do go forward. That's a nice catch running back with the flight. This girl's got a lot of talent as well. Courtney Rowley coming off her wing. Kick towards Roberts, who makes that one good. It wasn't the best kick from Rowley, but Roberts made sure it was okay. And then her use is excellent, setting up Bartlett on the wing. And Peel already seemed to have a little bit more intent kicking into the breeze. Briggs with the mark as well. Normally a good, long, left-footed kick. She sets this one up towards half-forward. Big pack of players. Juggled attempt. I reckon that was a mark.
Oh, he hasn't paid it.
She was the only person who got hands to the football there, Wrigley, and hasn't been paid. Don't think anyone else touched it, but the umpire had other ideas, so we'll see a ball up instead. Both rucks late to get there in the end. Chance at ground level for Briggs. She won't be able to get the ball out of that pack. And we'll see another ball up. So a minute into this third quarter, and Peel will have the ball at half forward.
Once again, in the key ruck, it's Briggs though. Jessica Lowe just puts her hand in there at a beautiful time. Burrowing in now is Briggs, and she pins Ella Smith and the ball to the deck. He's playing ahead of the ball here, Ash.
Yeah, sorry. I was just watching their ruckman. Claremont's ruckman go up then.
Low running so fast, he actually ran faster than the ball. It's been done for a throw inside that, or it's actually gone the other way. So it has gone against Lowe, and we'll go to Wrigley.
Looked like Marley Simmons has copped a bit of a poke in the eye.
Struggle behind the ball. Yeah. Just struggling to get this little piece of the play in order. It's Wrigley now. And Wrigley opens the game up beautifully to Carter, and Carter's good enough. She just ticked that lead at the last moment. And the kick demanded her attention, and she was good enough to get on the end of it. Really well played. Weighted kick was beautiful from Wrigley. Crystal Carter has a chance to really start to put Claremont on notice. Long lead from Briggs ignored. Deliberate approach. Just ball drop tumbles off to the side, and as a result is still in play though, however. Claremont trying to run the ball over the line. Haven't done so yet, Garstone.
Oh, it's a free kick.
Yeah, holding the ball.
Wow, looks like she touched the ball into the goalpost. Just struggled to see what was going on there. This is an extreme angle for McKinley. Handballs off to Bartlett. They're not wide that this time. Bartlett just turns the ball around the corner on right foot. Ash Renshaw called it 2.5 quarters ago. Bartlett was allowed to lurk 5 metres away from that ball. And an obvious thing for McKinley to do was to give it to her. And the noted goal kicking and classy finisher, Bartlett, has 2. Notice been handed down. Peel Thunder, 3 goals, 5-23. Claremont now trail 1-6-12. Claremont spent a quarter peppering the goal face at the other end. And Peel score the first goal into it.
Looks like Mika Carter's getting a bit of attention down there from one of the Peel players. Sorry, can't see her
Anderson,
jumping.
I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there you go. Tanisha Anderson. Yeah, I don't care if you're an AFLW player. I'm going to get into you.
Probably lucky that we're sitting next to the Peel box rather than the Claremont box right now, because I don't think they'd be too pleased with what they just saw, with Bartlett able just to stand 5 metres away from the person with a free kick. That's brilliant football from Bartlett. The feed-up hand pass back to McKinley, looking to repay the little effort that McKinley gave to her before. The kick wasn't the best though, but they were able to lock it in the forward pocket. We'll see a ball up.
Just noticing the game now, it's a bit more cleaner. The first 2 quarters, everyone was really fumbly, but it goes to show once you play a bit of clean footy, it opens up.
Pugh with the clearing kick, but straight down the middle. Here's Roberts. She'll be tough to catch. She puts a hand pass out in front of herself, collects her own footy, doing it all herself, gives it off to Rowley, shrugs the tackle, hurried kick forward. There's 3 Thunder players there, but they've picked out Ryu in the middle of the triangle. Unfortunate there for Peel. It was a promising build-up. It's been chopped off. Ryu with a high kick again. Happy to go down the middle of the ground. Juggled attempt. It's been paid to Ditchburn. Plenty of space to operate here for the Thunder. Jade Britton didn't get a great bounce. She goes back and gets it. Just gets a hand pass away in the nick of time. Carter, a good tackle. Here comes Petrevsky. Kick's been smothered by Mann. Comes towards Carter of Thunder. Little hand pass from Ortlip gets it through the traffic. Close to the boundary. Shove from Anderson gets rid of her opponent and the football. And we'll see a boundary throw in. But Peel are attacking this third quarter a lot better than they attacked the first quarter into the breeze.
Working to Ella Roberts now too, the Claremont Tigers. She looks like Barnett's been sent to her. Nice compliment for the young player. Low, tries to go through. Ball spills free. Working hard at ground level. Ditchburn. Trying to get around. There's Petrevsky. She's very fast in those contests. Had her back turned to the umpire. The umpire didn't quite get a look at the tiny little hand that she may have got on that. And it's Briggs again. Provides fierce pressure as a forward for Peel. This left foot sort of overspinning ball doesn't help too much at all. Bartlett with it in her hands again. This time stripped of it. Good pressure front on from you. Ball out to Pugh. A good user. Just gets this ball to Petrevsky, who just needs to calm down here. She does. Holds this up nicely. Just allow her teammates to get into position. It's down the line now. And Roberts just is the only hands up above. She takes a very clean mark. A quick scan around. A bit of penetration on the kick, but it's a wide entry, and it's back with Petrevsky. Petrevsky centres the ball dangerously. It's Whale camped under that. She can't take the mark. It's going to invite some pressure now. Franklin stripped her of the footy. She gets it back on the one bounce, and now's tackled to the ground. Had a couple of chances. The umpire says yes. It's holding the ball. It's a bit of a team tackle. A couple of players putting pressure on Whale. Eventually, it will stand up with the ball. Be Carter. Hard to evade Mika Carter. So Meeks, as she's affectionately known amongst the Eagles crew. Just assessing her options. She was always going to break an ankle in the middle of the ground. That's wonderful play. She gets the ball, tumbles end over end towards the 50. It's a great pickup from Anderson. She can't quite get away. It's a terrific rundown tackle from Sasha Goranova, and she's been terrific with her defensive pressure today. She's got a chance to get this to the goal square. Brooke Wright set up deep. Franklin lurking. It goes straight down the throat of the Peel players who can't quite get a handle on it. It's Whale at the back to Little's intercepted there, and it looks to be, that's Germanis. Now, Germanis is a good kick of the footy. She's given herself open up on the angle. She drops the ball to Petrevsky, who will look to play on. No, she won't. She puts her hand up, and I reckon that was to signal herself, because she definitely wanted to do a sidestep and go to goal.
That was the Mika Carter sidestep there, the eye fake to the left.
Yep, the eyes have it. Now, Petrevsky strikes the ball well. The distance may trouble her. Supremely confident, plenty of leads coming in here. She ignores those. It needed one for Claremont. It's a great foot strike, and it's going to carry the line beautifully. She just put it up for the breeze. It's a wonderful strike from Petrevsky, recipient of some terrific work from Sasha Goranova, who is having some kind of game. Ash Renshaw.
Yeah, Goranova is definitely having some kind of game, but I think that goes back to Carter's tackle in the middle, the sidestep to get it into the 50, and we all know if you're trying to come out of the 50 from the left-hand side of the screen, you're going to struggle. Dumanis there for the mark and into Petrevsky.
Exciting play from Claremont, probably their best passage of the day. It's been a scrappy day for both teams, really. And there's still less than a goal in it, 8 minutes into this third quarter. Claremont have got 12 minutes left with the breeze at their back for the game. And then they've got to defend like a final spot depends on it, because it really does. In the middle, it's Barnden in the ruck this time, wins the tap, follows up with a tackle, and just as the ball was coming out, the umpire's blowing the whistle and will come back for a ball up.
Well, Petrevsky's kicked that 55 metres.
It wasn't a bad kick, was it?
Step. So let's not doubt the distance on her leg.
We do have a restart here. The wingers have almost decided we're going to make it another centre bounce. They've both pairs have spread very wide, both defensive side, and the forwards holding their position at both ends as well. So there's a lot of space around this ball up. Umpire out of the zone's notice to hold. It's going to go Claremont's way. Petrevsky's claimed it. She'll get it. Goes straight down the middle. Kick to Smith. Awkward bounce for her. She bounces like a basketballer. Goes back and gets it. Hand pass was intercepted though by Mann. Comes back to Smith. Hurry to kick forward. Franklin in the best position. Takes it on her chest. Needs to calm herself down and go back and kick the goal, because her set shot kicking that we saw a couple of weeks ago against East Fremantle was superb. And if she makes a good strike here, Claremont will have the lead again.
That was great second and third efforts there by Ella Smith.
She actually literally bounced it like a basketball. Footballs don't normally come back to you like that. So Amy Franklin, 8 goals on the season. This is not her best kick, obviously. But clean bowls the goal, play on the goal one, and then the Tigers have a chance. They're dancing. They can't get a boot to the ball. Oh, that was unbelievable football. Ella Smith with like a second and a third and a fourth attempt at that one. Can't believe she missed a foot. It's behind only. It's a 4-point lead.
I'd have missed it twice. Ball in through Little. Controls wonderful. Gets to the far side of the ground. And Peel can get some relief for the moment. Red here again, and that is a Rowley. Rowley, my apologies. I think I called her Rowley for 7 years before she finally, polite young lady, said it's actually Rowley. Her kick is taken up towards the wing, and it looks, for all intents and purposes, that all the players involved there want that ball over the line. Throw in, just about in the centre of the ground, far side. Much of the game played to the far side today. It's a lot closer than the far side of East Fremantle Oval, so the old eyes can still see a couple of players out there. Rucks go at it. Barnden trying to get a run on it here at the back. Players can't quite get through. We've got to restart again. A couple of the setups are really good here. When Eddie controlling the corridor, you've got Germanis behind the ball for Claremont. Tackling's fierce inside. Evans stripped of it. Or tackled to the ground. It's Wrigley wearing the number 1 jumper after she sent off, or had to go from the grill field with the blood rule earlier. Bouncing around again. Packs have collapsed here. There's very little room to work in. The umpire's going to find something. He has. He's going to get this game going. So holding the ball. Dragged in was the call. It's going to be going forward. That's a nice strike. Was that Bilsich? Or was that Ditchburn? In the hands of Wrigley now. Towards Bartlett. Pugh's got her now. Bartlett's proved to be a little bit of a handful in the last quarter and a bit. It's Bartlett again. Pugh's on the ground. Fires out to McKinley. Can't find the handle. Now it's Bilsich. Sets this ball free. Tackle to the ground. And then ripping the ball out of her hands was Evans. Trying to get something going here for Claremont. But Peel standing too strong.
There's a lot of talking and pointing going out there from both teams, which is good.
Burn doing that work behind the ball before. And again, just now, ball towards Bartlett again. She takes on the chest. She plays on it immediately, inside out. Ball to the goal square. Should favour McKinley. Hand in there was beautiful. And sweeping on the ball defensively was Ella Smith, using her opposite foot to clear the ball to Winetti. Winetti down the line to White. Good early White, but a pressure on her now. She's been played very close from Little. Benson goes off the ground. Petrevski's going to be tracked down from behind by Dowson, holding the ball. Chippy Dowson really, really sweating on that one. Was waiting for Petrevski to take the ball. She's just allowing her players to reset. Short one to Britton is okay. It's in Britton's hands. Lots of leads coming out of McKinley. Ignored. It's just going to be a long ball in. Mystery footy. Briggs at the back. Jumps. Can't get a hand to it. It's all here for Bennett now. Bennett's handball doesn't find its targets. Roberts swoops in on it now. Players going left and right. It's going to have a very similar result. So the last couple of times when the players set upon the ball, and it's a ball up.
A much better field position into the breeze in the third quarter than they did in the first. Peel generated a goal as well. Roberts is near this footy. It's always exciting when she's close by. Little fumble initially. Goes back in, wins it. Gains 20 metres with her kick. It's into the open space. Ortlett leads in the race against Bartlett. Wins the football. Dragged off her kick though. Support comes from Pugh. Sidestep was good, but caught by the second player. That's holding the ball. And Carter has the free kick. She's already kicked one. No, she missed one earlier, didn't she? Missed an opportunity from a similar distance earlier in the quarter. So into the breeze. Not sure she'll have the distance here. Briggs gives the lead. That clears some space for some other players to start to make some moves. They'll be watching Roberts closely in the goal square here as well. She sits it up. Won't have the distance. Roberts is in the pack. She's got the hands to the footy and she takes the mark. Well, Everyone down there would have known she was the dangerous player, and she managed to get herself into a good position there, Ash, and a juggled attempt was paid.
She did. She got herself into a great position, and I think maybe that was, I don't know if Crystal Carter meant to kick that high because she knew Ella Roberts was going to mark it. However, it's definitely paid off.
Well, for all of her work today, she deserves a goal, and she's got one. And that's a huge lead for Peel. It's their biggest lead of the game. They're out to a 10-point break. There's about 5 minutes to go in this quarter. And Claremont have got 5 minutes, Ash, to really turn their season around right now. Otherwise, they're going to find things very difficult in the last quarter coming into this breeze.
They do. But the ball it's obviously coming back into the middle so they can restart. They do have the wind. It's probably just getting it out of the middle on the boot and trying to lock it in their 50 metres.
Hands up and eyes up. Contested mark. Ella Roberts. And just goes back, and she turned it back on that as soon as she struck it. She knew it was through. We're in the centre of the ground. 29-19. Peel's way and doing all the work this quarter against the breeze. Quaife, first hands. Just misses man going past. It's now chopped forward. Bennett will be on this quickly, and she's looking to rebound. Doing some bullocking work on Roberts behind the ball. Was the Claremont defenders. It's going to favour Peel now behind the ball. Switch inside's okay. Dowson just starting to get some run and carry going in her game. Ball's over the top to McKinley. Does enough to get over the back. It's in Roberts' country now. Roberts is on the ground. Tackled her. Plenty of people around the football again. Starting to get a bit nervous out there. A couple of players starting to ask the umpire for different things. I know Crystal Carter had a quick whisper about any danger of 50. Jess Lowe sweeping beautifully. This ball's driven into the centre of the ground. Tanisha Anderson favoured by the bounce. She read it well. She's played a good game today. This time she's pushed off the football, and Wanetti. Bit of confusion between White and Wanetti, but it's Wanetti now. Thinks away through this nicely. Kicks it towards the back of this contest will favour Franklin, who just bounced off her chest. Robertson hasn't seen too much of it today. Misses White going past. Although she's pushed, Benson's pushed Amanda Robinson to the ground as she went past. So it'll be Robbo with the football now. Franklin just waiting for Franklin to get set. White's got her back shoulder. She's allowing the Peel defence to flood in. Robertson now, a long ball in, favours Little at the back. It's Little, but Anderson and Little clash, and it's Franklin v Benson. Franklin will look to turn her inside out. Benson's played a lot of football, as we said earlier before, and she's able to worry Franklin off this football. Franklin dives on it. Peel players dive on her, and she's allowed to get away with that one.
I really enjoyed that match-up today between Benson and Franklin.
Just seems that Benson is just tricking into doing a few things that she doesn't want to do, Franklin.
Right contest forward pocket. Ball knocked into space. That appeared to be a free kick to Peel. Dowson was pushed in the back, and she will slow things down. She spotted a teammate in the pocket in Wrigley, who takes the mark. And Peel will look to control this last 3 minutes of the quarter into the breeze. They lead by 10. It's a mountain for Claremont to climb if they can't score a goal or two in the last couple of minutes of this term. Going to ground, a Peel player will get a free kick. Hannah Church. And again, they'll use the experience. They'll slow things down. Players gathering on the wing. That's the direction they'll be happy to kick in the end. Very close to the boundary. Roberts is in this pack again, but that's a great mark from Bennett this time. Standing at the front of the pack. Kept her eyes on the footy. Judged it well. Kicks in the direction of Franklin. Too much on it. At the back, Anderson couldn't take the mark, but she fights on a second time. Claremont need to spill this ball out into some open space, but again, Dowson's in the way. She's tackled by a couple of Tigers. And another stoppage will suit Peel well. Umpire calling for the nominations. White's there ready to go. Quaife arrives late. Contests the ruck, wins the tap. Overrunning the football was Church. She dives in on top of it again. Everyone happy just to fall in on top. Robertson wins the footy out. Gives off to Bennett. Kicks into the face. I think they're her Peel opponent. Shannon Whale might have copped that one. Still a chance here for the Tigers. Going over. Long towards full forward. Anderson comes across the pack. Couldn't take the mark. Sneaking out the back is Mika Carter. The kick won't have the carry. And Anderson gets back. Doesn't even want to concede the behind. Maybe she should have. The kick goes wide. It goes out of bounds. It's still inside defensive 50. So it will be a boundary throw-in rather than a free kick.
No hula hoop signal for us in the commentary box. It's been one of Dave Lindsay's favourite parts of calling the WAFLW this season. This ball should be going to the top of the goal square on the throw-in. It's going to the corridor instead. Quaife, White and Wrigley to Church. Church to the top of 50. Pugh reads it well. Gets off Bartlett, but can't take the mark. Little kick forward from Smith. She's tried to get the ball moving. Britton, great place for a defensive winger. Tui Winetti, the former touchy, can't get through. There's a whistle off the ball. Tui Winetti showing her stepping ability. But knocked over or carried forward in the tackle was
I think
Jade
it's
Britton.
just held on too long after the ball spilled out.
Britton.
I wouldn't want to be on the end of a Mika Carter tackle.
It's fierce, isn't it?
It's also not a good sign when after she's tackled you, she says sorry. That means that it was harder than she had intended. Pugh through her hands. Roberts, hand between her, below her knees, I should say, into the hands of Claremont, who's tackled fiercely to the ground. And the tackling's been a huge feature of today's game. Lots and lots of pressure around the ball. Strefsky, chased down by Wrigley. Church patrolling halfback, skittles through her into Franklin's hands, another exciting young player, to Winetti. Winetti's trying to get it back to Franklin, but she's swamped. She turns this ball over. The umpire calls an end to the quarter, and the quarter dominated again by Peel. 4-5-29. Claremont looked the goods at different times throughout that period. 2-7-19. Both teams are playing for a spot in the finals or in the top four. They'll go into next week guaranteed. Nervous wait for the loser who'll be looking for tomorrow's game. Claremont with a wonderful list and a good season now with it all in front of them.
And they trail by 10 points, and they'll kick into the breeze in the last quarter. The Thunder leading it by 10 with 1 quarter to go. We'll take a break here on our stream of Round 7 WAFLW, back with the final quarter of the season perhaps for one of these two teams.
The V6 twin-turbo rear-wheel drive Kia Stinger. It took 7 years to create and 4.9 seconds to understand why.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
Sorry.
This way.
It's funny.
Dad.
Party purpose.
Bring your family together. Introducing Optus Family Plan with 4 SIMs and 250 gigs of data to share.
If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
1 quarter to go down here at David Gray's Arena. And it's Peel Thunder sitting on a 10-point lead at 3/4 time. 4-5-29 to 2-7-19. Bartlett's kicked 2. Roberts and Church, the other goal kickers for Peel. While for Claremont, Petrevsky kicked the goal in the 3rd quarter. And Mika Carter kicked the first goal of the match. But the Tigers, who led it by 11 points at quarter time, well, they've only managed 1 goal, 2 since then. Peel have kicked 4 goals, 5, and they'll finish on the breeze in the final quarter. Dave Lindsay, Clint Degebrot, and Ash Renshaw, your commentary team here for this WAFL women's match. The winner of this match is guaranteed a final spot, and the loser has to sit and watch tomorrow's game between East Fremantle and Swans to see if their season will continue into next week. Ash, you kept your eye on the Peel Thunder strategy, their style of play in that 3rd quarter. They really struggled into the breeze in the 1st quarter, but they were so much better this time around.
Yeah, they were a lot better. They came out in that quarter, it was a lot more slow ball movement towards their goals rather than bombing it forward against the breeze, and paid off getting the first goal against the Breeze this game.
So you're in the Claremont coach's box right now. What's your instruction? What's the last message you're giving to the Tigers here when they have to kick at least 2 goals and probably more, considering you'd expect Peel would score with the Breeze this quarter as well?
I'd be making sure I'm first to the footy, I'm gut running, and I'm doing all the 1%ers to make sure our team gets over the line to make finals.
So finals are on the line for these two teams. And then East Fremantle play Swans tomorrow, which will decide the final makeup. Subi and South play as well, but Subi are guaranteed top spot. And South, unfortunately, will take the wooden spoon in their first season. Looking at some of the highlights from the third quarter. Degs, is there any hope for the Tigers?
There's certainly hope for the Tigers. I think a mix of, I agree with Ash, to get control of the ball and then to wind yourself up. So to get it in your hands and then wind up slowly until you're going at full pace in forward 50. I'd like to see Franklin go back behind the ball. See she can attack from centre half back, much like the Peel halfbacks have. I think she caused all kinds of problems with her running shots and inside 50s. Otherwise, it's probably time to isolate a couple of small, fast forwards for Claremont. But for me, for Claremont, it's about control of the ball and then going through the gears. So getting into first and hopefully being in fourth and take your last entry into 450.
Peel coaches have given their final instructions. It's over to the players now, as the Tigers do the same. I always like the hands in huddle, Ash. It's a thing with women's sport, I think, not just the footy. It certainly happens in other sports as well. The old 1, 2, 3 Thunder Tigers.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
What does Subi do these days? Is it Subi, or have they got a special word they're using?
No, it's Subi.
Just Subi.
Yeah, just Subi.
That's enough to buy you up.
Yeah.
It sounds like it might not be, but Ash is not prepared to say it. Just a
it is.
A little hesitation.
No, it is.
The girls certainly get around each other, and the Tigers girls are going to have to do a lot of work in this last quarter as the Peel forwards head towards the left of screen. Got the Breeze at their back. Crystal Carter's just realised we've got one too many down here. Maybe my name wasn't on the magnet board, so she's just dashed off. She'll start on the bench in the final quarter. She's got Hayden Ballantyne chasing her at the moment, who's just going through his warm-up for the Peel Thunder League side that'll come out here against South Fremantle after this match is concluded.
He's on the wrong wing.
He is. Got his name on the other one.
Bought that one. He's going to try to get this one given to him, this one.
I think when you're Hayden Ballantyne and you're at Rushton Park, you can go wherever you like. So the umpire just waiting for the men's teams to get off the field. They've been out there having a bit of a kick during three-quarter time. All the girls are ready to go. They're in position. We've got a full forward and a full back in either goal square. So the umpire holds the ball aloft. And the quarter starts with the rucks going out at Bundan, beaten again, this time by Simmons. And Peel have done this pretty well throughout the day, forcing repeat stoppages. Not that Claremont have been any worse in that sort of area either. Been pretty rare to get a clean break out of the middle at the first crack. But again, the cavalry stay out, so there's plenty of space around this one. Smith wins it forward. Lowe couldn't quite handle it. Carter does. Her hand pass intercepted. Anderson was awake to it. Did well. Here's Gorin over for Claremont. Hurried kick with the left boot, gained some ground. Dowson happy to sit behind the footy. Robertson gets there first. Arm might have gone just over the shoulder there from Shannon Wales. So Robertson gets the free kick. And this time she needs to get it in quick before the Thunder defence get back. She's alert to that. Hand pass to Petrevski. High kick. Carter's got to run at this one. Couldn't quite take it on the chest though. Clearing kick comes out of there from Wrigley. Straight to Smith. Tumbles it into the pocket. They want this one to go out. Otherwise Davison can keep it in and perhaps set something up here for Peel. She draws the player. Does well. Gets it back again. And then the kick down the line has gone wide. Britton keeps it in for Peel. The hand pass inside. Smith's been cleaned up. She might have a sore shoulder after that one, if not a sore head. Peel get the clearing kick down the line. Bit of space to work with on the wing here. If McKinley can get there first. She actually gets there second because the Claremont player overruns it. She's able to soccer the footy. Ball in dispute in the middle of the ground. Opportunity for Barnden. Hand pass. Roberts is there. Roberts puts it out in front of Dowson. It's a 2-on-1. Rowley comes across to apply. Very good Shepherd. Dowson draws the player. Her hand pass intercepted as well. The defender's doing nicely with the little read of the dish-off hand pass. Low to Petrevski. Petrevski long towards half forward. Two Thunder players fly. Anderson couldn't bring it down to ground. Robertson goes to ground wanting a free kick and she'll get it again. So Robertson, 2 kicks from goal here. Again, can't afford to waste too much time. There's space for the Claremont forwards. Carter gives a good lead. That's ignored. Another lead comes from Bennett. She's watched all those leads come. Instead, she kicks long and kicks straight down the throat of Anderson, and Peel will rebound.
Mika Carter, a textbook lead. Meanwhile, Anderson to Briggs does enough. Hamilton Smith to get this smothered, scoring over, turning the ball back into the forward 50. Tanisha Anderson comes at the ball again. Been running really hard. This time she can't pick it up, and the pack sets upon her once more.
I'm liking the pressure from Claremont.
Yeah, they look to have the same sort of intent as Peel came out with after the half-time break. Bennett can't get her kick away. She's been done for incorrect disposal. And Wrigley, who's had a pretty solid game today, will get the result and free kick. For Briggs again. So Briggs has become a bit of a connector for the Peel Thunder Football Club. This time the ball is fumbled towards Winetti. Winetti, a dangerous kick in, but Redwell again is Shannon Whale, and she's off straight away. She comes down the corridor, looking to give it towards Rowley. Rowley's Pugh's coming at her, a little bump there. Unfortunately, Rowley couldn't get the ball to bounce because would have been seeing her going to 50. Meanwhile, Greta McKinley's pulled off the ball. She's been called for holding the ball. Claremont, the game has gone up in pace and intensity. Not quite skill yet. Hamilton Smith can't get this ball away, and she's done for holding the ball. And that's 3 in a little passage of play, and it's Briggs again, providing pressure this time in the middle of the ground. A couple of players calling for it very wide. She just drops it towards McKinley. McKinley does well to get there initially. She's attracting a crowd eventually. Kick forward, goes to Lowe. Lowe tries to get underneath the tackle, but a really big dump. The umpire's going to step in and just allow the players to cool off here, because a couple of players aren't happy with what was going on there. As Ryu playing a bit of an enforcer role. Meanwhile, ball going nowhere off this last couple of possessions. Wrigley's a nice back feed to Britton. Britton goes very wide. In fact, she'll kick this inside 50 and will go out of bounds for a boundary throw inside the arcs.
Robertson was just coming off there with a little bit of a hobble. Might have copped Corky.
Pure fatigue and leather poisoning.
Oh, no. Sorry. Amanda Robertson.
Yeah, from being beaten up for the last 5 minutes of this quarter.
Boundary throw in, neither ruck touched it. It gets over the back. Ryu first there. Gets boot to ball quickly. Dowson might be able to set something up for Peel. No, she's well tackled by Smith. That'll be a throw. So Smith will get the free kick. And again, Claremont's ball movement needs to be pretty quick. They've got 15 minutes to go. They're 10 points down. They're kicking into the breeze. Sarah Garstone tells her she's got to kick out wide. That's exactly what she does. I'm not sure where she was pointing because there weren't any targets out there. Only the boundary umpire who does the lasso move. And the free kick goes the way of Peel. Kick inside to Dowson, who runs underneath the flight of the football. Smith's kick into the middle is good. Demanis with the footy. Kicks to the advantage of White. The breeze swings it even further to her advantage. She knocks it to Goranova. Hand pass away to Carter. About to be run down. She's caught. That's a good tackle. It's normally Carter doing the tackling, but instead this time it's Kate Ditchburn. Sends her kick out wide. Claremont players fly, but no one gets a hand on the football. That allows Church to sneak away with the ball. Kicks towards half forward. Evans is caught. Wants to wrestle away free. Umpire watching on will call for a ball up. And again, Peel have managed just to knock a couple of minutes off this clock, and their lead remains 10 points.
Oh, no possessions to move that ball 10 metres forward. We'll have another ball up. 10 metres in front of the last ball up. David Lindsay teased me for not calling that little bit of play. Evans doesn't have the ball at the moment. McKinley, she doesn't have it either. Jessica Lowe trying to get the ball moving forward. Set up well as Peel. Overrunning it to Anderson. Brings White in. White's just going to try and gain a few inches and indicate that she's trying to get rid of this ball. Claremont have gained 25 metres offensively. Just through attrition, really. Ball bouncing around again. Bennett. Rowley. Mann. Into the centre. Dangerous kicks. Intercepted well. Did she play on? She was called to play on, or maybe it wasn't 15 metres. Kicking in danger is the call on a dry day. Very interesting. As Cassie Davison has to come back behind her mark. Very messy little passage of play. The case for a catch, I reckon, Belizanik. Peel back 5 have been very solid today. They've been very creative. Time now for Davison. She's looking for Briggs again to connect her. Yui sitting behind her. Carter. Simmons, the ruckman. The rover this time. Looking to connect forward. Lots of Peel players around this footy. Bounces back in. A horrible bounce for Anderson. Tracking the ball well is Carter. She does another beautiful step right in front of the commentary box and a bounce. Can she look to Franklin? She just goes straight through Whale. It's called for holding the ball after she handballed the ball. Shannon Whale has proved herself to be one tough hombre. She stood in front of Carter and absorbed that contact.
Has Carter used up all her side steps? She wasn't allowed to use one then, just decided to run straight over the top of it?
I think she had a second side step plan, but she wanted to do side step, don't argue, side step. Ella Roberts, Ortlap, as she does quite often, calm in a crisis. Ball bouncing for Lowe. Tracking her is Carter. Awkward tackle. Hopefully we see all the players get up safely from this little bit of passage. Now, I'm going to call this one the last one, see if I can get a bit of flow going.
You've dominated 30 metres of ground up and down this wing.
If I can get a switch. Church plays the ball back. It's into some space now, so Dowson can run, steps inside, uses Rowley as a screen, then turns over the ball inside. So Claremont have a chance to go in. Lowe's a little bit ginger after her tackle. She's just finding a bit of time and space here. Ball in hand now is Barnett. Long to Franklin, who stands there and just about does enough. Demi Little does it, and she's been done for a throw. Demi Little did really well just to get a hand on that ball, but then she fierce decision, I guess, on the tackle. Mika Carter plays on immediately. She's done this once already today. She's not going to get the distance with this, although White's struggling on the line. Benson, that's a good matchup too. Trying to get it, it's Bennett. Bennett drives. It hits Benson on the shins, and that is a one-leg bye. Benson takes the single.
Well, they're hanging on the Peel defence. Claremont putting them under a ton of pressure. They might really regret that first quarter when they kicked 1-5, Claremont, with the breeze. They're down by 9 points. Dowson, she's had a good second half. Plays on with a bounce. Runs a full measure after that bounce and then long towards the half back line. Stretching man almost took a good mark there. Burrowing away through. Thunder able to get this one out. That was Bill Sitch on that occasion. Evans, the hand pass inside works well. Garstone with the outside of the boot. High towards half forward. Standing her ground in front is White. Couldn't quite hang on to the chest mark. Now she brings the ball back in underneath her. She's tackled. That might be holding the ball. The umpire likes to stand and pose and wait and then ping her.
Kira Phillips was yelling as she jumped on that. That's what's going to happen.
So Davison gets the free kick. Spreads it wide to Dowson again. It's been very good to spread Dowson. Getting into space early. Oh. That's a fine grab. Taken by Ortlap. She was out of position, it appeared, but she arrived at the last moment and outmarked Robertson. That's no mean feat. Claremont building down the wing. Low. Seems to be okay after that tackle. Stabs it in very low herself towards Goranova. She's run down from behind. That's a wonderful tackle. Should be holding the ball. Courtney Rowley deserved a free kick there. Didn't come. Ball in dispute in the middle of the ground. Evans reaches for it. Can't take it. Now the Tigers arrive with the tackles. We'll see a ball up. We're into the second half of this final quarter now. Claremont haven't made any inroads since three-quarter time. A lot of congestion around this ball up. Free kick's been picked out for a hold. It's going to go Peel's way. They'll be able to set something up here. It's Barnden with the footy, is it? Is that Ditchburn? Ditchburn? Customary kicking style, out wide. Roberts on the lead. Takes the mark in front of Ortlap this time. She's happy to slow things down as well. Not too many leads coming forward to the ball just yet. Briggs gives one to the pocket. Bartlett in front of her. Runs her opponent under the football. Ducks back onto it. Sidesteps one. Bounces a kick goalward. It'll be marked on the line pretty much by Smith. And Smith needs to roll and go here. She does. She goes pretty short. The Tigers through Garstone have it now in the back pocket.
That was a great save by the captain.
Done well. She's been running the length of the ground, although Peel have got this part of the ground really well covered. That's a clever kick if Evans can take the mark. She can't. She pulls the ball around the corner cleverly. And Tanisha Anderson, as she has all day, playing in front. Dowson met solidly again Claremont's wall of defence at the moment. Dowson, just lose that. Greta McKinley. Itchburn. Anderson. Back to Whale. Whale again to Davison. Man on in the corridor. Davison does a little bit of trick to get around Franklin, does well to get rid of that ball. She's carried to the ground after she got it free. It's a down the field free kick. And it's play on Hannah Church. Hannah Church to Kira Phillips. Hasn't seen much of it today. Sorry, it's not Sasha Goranova. It's Sarah Garstone pleading with her teammates. Need some speed off that ball. First time that Kira Phillips has had any space and time. She's the kind of player that kicks these.
Yes, she is. She's so dangerous.
Seen much of it today. Runs around on the right foot and pulls it around. And has she put her team into the final series? I have a feeling she has. Kira Phillips, the person for the occasion just now, as Claremont were working hard to claw back the 10-point deficit. Kira Phillips, Cuzzy, has made it immensely harder for Claremont to continue their season from here.
That was great work there by Kira.
Well, it's fast play by Church to play on there, wasn't it? So Church was able to get the ball and then a nice flat pass while basically the Claremont defence were trying to see what was going on up ahead. So fast play on doesn't always happen in the female game. Taking the advantage, Peel seizing that. Potentially, in their second season, they are playing finals football.
Still an important 6.5 minutes here. It appears that they will go ahead and win the game. There's one too many Peel players in their defensive end. Tanisha Anderson's very confused as to where she needs to go here. They're one short in the forwards. She's going to run to the bench and then someone's going to run forward. Meanwhile, the clock just continues to run as well. Anderson's now changed her mind. She's going forward. Claremont players are saying, well, we deserve a free kick here because of the time wasting.
Well, it's definitely a double breach because she was in the wrong position 3 times.
So you'd have to say when there is no time on in this game, perhaps when there is no time on, it could just be a free kick because I'm not saying that was intentional. If it was a brilliant way to waste an extra minute of play. Claremont have gone forward. When Eddie's gone forward with her kick towards the hot spot, be with plenty of players around this footy and they'll hold it up. So their lead is 15 points. And percentage is going to be crucial for them. If East Fremantle win tomorrow, these two teams finish on the same points as well as Swans. And coming into this weekend, they almost have the same percentage. They're only split by about 3%, which is very little in a pretty low-scoring sort of season. So a big win here would mean that they should finish ahead of East Fremantle. And that could mean Peel could even finish as high as second on the table, which gives them a double chance. Ball out of bounds in front of the bouncy castle where I reckon Ash is heading off. There's a few kids on there now, Ash, so you might have to wait your turn now.
I know, they're probably a bit taller than me too.
I'm going to back Ash to get them out of there.
So the boundary throw in. Claremont need 3 goals in 5 minutes. They've kicked 2 for the game. Franklin's in the ruck. Ball spills out. Bennett wanted to rip it out of the congestion. Smith's holding it in. And we'll see a ball up now.
Petresky out there setting up the midfield outside of that 50 to make sure that Peel do get it out. They've got Claremont players there to kick it back in.
They will get it out through a free kick now. It's a ruck infringement. We've seen a few of those go against Claremont throughout today. Bunden with the free kick. She decides to attack down the outer wing. Working her way to the front, McKinley did nicely to get in front of her opponent, and then the juggled mark is paid. Pokes a kick over the top to Wrigley. Peel have done this well in the second half. They've controlled the ball nicely. They turn this one over on the 45 degree though. Taken by Bennett. She knows she needs to get things moving quickly. Towards half forward. Robertson does the pushing and shoving. Nice defensive work from Carter of Peel. Gives it off to a teammate. The clearing kick from Davison to the wing. Bad bounce for all players there. And another bad bounce for Garstone. Anderson over the football. And she steps out with her hands up, apologising. Needed to just go in and win it. Petresky will get there first. On half back. Coughs it up though with a poor hand pass. Bartlett swoops her on the footy. Can't take possession. Pugh. She doesn't need too many opportunities to take the football. Gives it off towards Ryu. All of a sudden, the handle is very hard to find on this ball. Tackle from Bartlett. Ball spills out to Munnis. Kick down the line. 2-on-2 contest. White and Winetti eventually get tangled. Now, Church or Whale, in fact, over the top makes the tackle. We'll see a ball up. Just over 3 minutes remaining here. Peel by 15 points. The team in their second season will be into the finals this year.
Steve Markham, the greatest coach in Peel Thunder football history in the WAFLW. He's won 3 games. This could be the 4th. Franklin at the top of 50. Neatly done, both players. Demi Little has played her well today. Petresky threatening as always. Tackle Quaife was good. This ball spills free to Carter. Looking for some magic from Carter. Crashing the pack. There's White. She's threatened to do it today. She managed to take a contested mark but avoid contact with 2 players that were in the way, which is a skill in itself. And White's got the leg to carry here. And she can keep the game alive, or at least keep Claremont's hopes of finishing in the 4 on percentage alive. Brooke White, leading goal kicker for Claremont 2019. In the end, I think it's a pop to the square. Franklin's the fry. Standing in front was Bennett, nearly. Back feed from Whale was good to Little. And it looks like Peeler away through Britton. Now, Britton holds up. One of the fastest players out there. So it's a deliberate ploy from Peel just to control the game from here. Smart play from a young player. She now drives outside 50 to a nest of Claremont players and an easy catch taken and some control on the ball from Claremont. They go wide to Bennett. Haven't increased and probably lost some field positioning here. Bennett looks to play on. Ball will be kicked towards the goal square again. All Peel so far, but White makes her way to the front. Off hands Franklin. She's tackled to the ground without the ball. Kicking around the corners, Carter. She's got 2. Clever play, Mika Carter, and that would be pleasing both the Claremont Football Club, but more importantly from Adam Selwood's point of view, he'd be enjoying her kicking goals up front as a forward. Always, there's a couple of plays out there that really flashed the eyes today. Carter's one. Terrific goal off hands. Ella Roberts and Amy Franklin at different times today have threatened to explode this game open.
That was great work there at the top of the 50 by Bennett. She just took the mark, drew the player off to Demanis, who kicked it into the hot spot.
Demanis has become an important player.
Yes.
Done some nice things. She's on the far wing at the moment. There's a minute to go. Claremont need 2 goals in that time, which is not going to happen, but percentage is going to play a big part in the final makeup of the top 4 for both of these 2 teams. Rowley in the centre square this time. Gets a kick away towards half forward. Ortlip first to the football. Pops the hand pass out to Goranova. Too slow. Great tackle. Should be holding the ball, and it is.
Roberts.
Great work again from Roberts. Doesn't like being out of the game for long periods, Roberts. Little pop kick over the top. Briggs with a leap. Couldn't quite take the mark. Smith. Chip kick was too big for Lowe, who then wins the hard footy anyway. Back inside to Goranova. Didn't waste any time this time. Got boot to footy quickly. But it's going to come back again. Ball in the middle of the ground. McKinley gives the hand pass away. Misses the target. As we wind down to the final siren, there'll be a big cheer from the home crowd here in a moment. Peel Thunder into the finals for the first time in WAFLW history. There it is, the Thunder, with a win today by 9 points over Claremont. And right at this minute, they move from 5th to 2nd on the table. And now everyone waits for the game between Swans and East Fremantle tomorrow to decide the final makeup of the top 4. Claremont will need a Swans win, which will mean that the Tigers still make the finals. If East Fremantle win tomorrow, they'll be into the finals, and Claremont will miss out, and it'll be percentage that decides who finished 2nd, 3rd and 4th between Swans, East Fremantle and Peel. Ash Renshaw, fascinating game of footy, and congratulations to Peel Thunder.
Yeah, that was a good game of football. It was just unfortunate Claremont didn't take advantage of the wind in that first quarter. I think it was 1 goal 5.
Yep.
1 goal 5. So, look, that could have been 6-0. But that was a great comeback there by Peel, and I think that started from that second half of going against the wind and controlling that football.
It's often the way, isn't it, Degs? In a day where there's a clear advantage to one end with the breeze, it's the work you do into the wind that seems to make the bigger difference.
Yeah, and obviously you want to. It goes back to Dennis Lilly, which is harking back. If he had a flat deck in front of him, he consigned himself to work hard. If he had a supportive deck behind him, he consigned himself. So the team that decides to work hard with the breeze and then against it is the team that can benefit. You're right. There's some terrific players out there today, and this is really exciting for Peel Thunder Footy Club. I don't think we can make a small measure of how important it is for them in this area of Perth or WA to be representing the girls here, and to be having success is just good for football, good for the competition, but most of all, good for the faith they've put in themselves and their local coaches.
So we mentioned off-air earlier that we saw these 2 teams play last year, and there were a lot of young girls in both teams who appeared a bit out of their depth. Today they didn't, and that's from both teams. So there's some real talent coming through, particularly from Peel, but also Claremont, and it's good to see that the investment they made last year has really paid off for both of these teams.
Number of 100-game players for each club out there, and a couple of players that have got a sneaky chance to get themselves on a list within the next 3 to 5 years, I guess.
So the teams have come together for their huddle arm in arm around the circle, a few words being said. Fantastic again to see these Indigenous jumpers being worn by the two sides, but a big win for Peel. 9 points, the final margin. And as I said, they've moved from 5th to 2nd on the ladder right at this moment. Tomorrow, Swans play East Fremantle. Peel's percentage was very close to East Fremantle's coming into this round. So margin tomorrow, whether it's a win or a loss for the Sharks or the Swans, will also play a bit of a role in the finals make-up. Claremont Ash do sit above East Fremantle, so if Swans were to beat East Fremantle tomorrow, and I'm not saying that you really want that to happen for your Lions either, but that would mean East Fremantle season is over.
Yeah, it would. That would be very interesting. But it's so good to see the ladder of it. Literally comes down to round 7 of who plays where for finals, and that's what you want in this competition. And hats off to the WAFL and the Football Commission for putting together such a great competition.
Imagine if there was 3 games left.
Yeah.
How tight this ladder would get. But you're right, Ash. Hats off to Luke and his team in operations and Scotty Baker, because they don't get a lot of credit, they don't get a lot of thanks. But this competition certainly been even. Obviously, we're watching South Fremantle develop and blood their young players like these two clubs have before us. I'm not sure we're going to get shots of the song.
Well, they're about to gather at the moment. We're a couple of minutes away from closing this stream and then getting ready for the WAFL League match, which is coming up at the moment. The two teams, Peel and South Fremantle, going through their warm-up at the moment. The Peel girls looked as though they were gathering. Maybe they're going to go into the rooms now, seeing as the men are out here doing a warm-up. Normally we see the women's teams doing their song on the field. They are going to hover. So I think we might be able to catch the Peel song here before we sign out at David Gray's Arena. Into the middle for her first victory is Bella Mann. And she did some good things as well, Dex.
Yeah, she's a very talented young player. It's great to see her come into the team, and just it didn't look like her first game.
Let's catch the Peel song. Very happy Peel Thunder team, and why not? Congratulations to Peel Thunder into the finals in just their second season in WAFLW. Ash Renshaw, thanks very much for your contribution today. Great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
And Degs, as always, head back down to Greystown. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. And we'll check out. We'll be back with WAFLW finals next week.
This WAFLW live stream is brought to you by Optus, proud naming rights partner of the WAFL and the WAFLW. The rear-wheel drive V6 twin-turbo Kia Stinger. Simply Energy, proudly supporting WA footy. And the West Coast Eagles, supporting WA female footballers to follow their dreams.